Hi, I'm Jill Fraser. I've been a miniaturist for over 30 years, and I started this YouTube channel to share my work with you and to show you some of the things that I do and how I do them, and to show you how I meet some of the challenges that I find in my workshop from day to day. So I hope you enjoy this video. I did promise a tutorial on how to make my Tudor desk, and I do it slightly differently from most people, strangely enough. And so I'm just going to show you what I start with. I start with beads, some florist wire, and a piece of ply, and a piece of basswood, which is quite thin. And this is all going to be painted, so it doesn't matter what colour they are. And I start with some beads. And these beads are going to fit the wire stem legs, inside the legs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the wire through the holes in the piece of wood and glue it in place. And then I'm going to thread the beads onto it. And so when I've got all my 4 legs done, I'm going to then glue the top of the table onto it so it covers the wire and the holes. And then I'm going to embellish it. So that gives you a start. I'm sorry about my finger there. And we'll see how we go along. So now I'm going to start threading. These are all glued in nice and firm. I'm going to start threading my beads on. Oh, I must put some glue on the bottom of them first. So this glue is going to be the bit that keeps everything nice and strong. Get you there, get you lined up on the corner. I get messy doing this. Get those there. So get those down there. And because I want to anchor these, I'm going to pour a bit more glue down the hole. Carefully. That doesn't look quite right there. That one might have to go on the back. Right, I've got a bit of time to straighten everything up. Now, I've got some little round pieces of wood that I actually cut slices of a piece of piece of dowel that I'd already drilled a hole through. I just needed some little round bits, and that was the only thing I could think of, just to give the leg a good profile. Right, so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm just going to do one leg because this could take quite a while, and show you how it goes. Bit more glue, good old stuff. And then I had, just trying to remember what I did. It's terrible. I think it's this little guy here. That's right, I remember now. And then I put a fancy one on. Now, remembering that this is all going to be spray painted, so it doesn't matter what colour or surface, it's everything. So this method is because I haven't got a lathe. I can't turn nice wood turned legs. I'd love to have a lathe, but I just haven't got the money and I haven't got the time to actually do it. I think I might have to draw a hole again and do that one a little bit closer, and it's too far out. So this is a way of doing turned legs that are really quite realistic. And so for somebody who's working at their desk or their kitchen table, and you can cut their tabletop out of balsa, so that's nice and soft to cut with a blade. And you can cut this top out of basswood, which I did with a blade. So there's nothing in this little exercise that you can't actually do at your kitchen table. If you've collected up a good range of beads. Now I've got to remember what next. What next? I think it's this one here. A bit of glue. And this is the whole purpose of the whole exercise, is to show you how to do a table, making it out of bits and pieces at your kitchen table. Now what have we got? We've got another square bit that comes on here. So this is going to require a bit more straightening up when things dry. Put a bit of glue on that because it's a big hole. And then on the bottom I have another, oh, I forgot my little bit, hang on. I think I've got 2 per leg, yes. Sorry about my hand. Right, now I'm right. And now I've got the little bun foot, and I probably have something left over, but that's fine. I can snip that off with the wire snippers later. Or I'll check the height and make sure that I've got everything at the right height. So that's the first leg, okay? Show you that. And I'll do the other 3 and I'll come back to you. So since I was here last, since you last saw this, I've made some changes. I have drilled a new hole for that leg that was poking over the side. And I have shortened these legs because as I was working my way merrily up to the top, I realised it was getting far taller than I had anticipated. And I really wanted it to be about 7 centimetres standing from the floor. And this is actually 7 centimetres now, but it was going to be 9 centimetres, so that was far too tall. And so my beads are now drying. I have to be strong, go away and have a cup of coffee and let it dry. And when I come back, I can do the other tiddly bits. So I've got some beads left over. It was going to look like a giraffe by the time I finished if I hadn't come to my senses. Okay, so I shall see you shortly. So now I've got my top glued on and the legs are all glued. And now I will do any other fancy bits I'm going to do on it before I paint it. So I have got this kind of reed pattern that I'm going to be gluing on. I just need to trim it a little bit. And I'm going to put that along the front, like that. I'm just going to glue it. This is in this paper clay. So we'll get that on there. That will look a bit like carved wood. I'll just do a couple of little bits on the ends. I'll find something to stick on that. Probably a little something like this maybe. I'll stick one on each end. And it's just really to finish it off. I don't think I need to do the sides even. I think that it would just be enough to have it on the front. I could just do these little bits on the side. So this is when you do all your little creative stuff before it gets painted. Oops. Things are happening. Right. I might just, will I or not? No, I don't think I will. I think I'll just leave it plain. Okay, so now I've got to finish that. I've got to let that dry before I can paint the rest of it. But it's looking pretty good so far. So, after all that work, I've managed to spray the bare wood and bare beads with black spray. And now we've got my finished product, which is my Tudor table. And you can see now that the beads help it look like it's been turned on a lathe. So I'm really happy with that. And so it was basically a lesson in how to make things at your desktop without needing to have lots of fancy equipment. Just your own self and your own fingers. And so now I shall continue on my fireplaces in the Tudor house, and I shall see you tomorrow.